R&B superstar Usher appeared on The View, and when the conversation veered toward politics, I don't quite think they liked his answers. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about R&B superstar, pop superstar, music superstar Usher appearing on The View to speak about quite a few things. Maybe his Vegas residency, maybe the performance in New York at the Barclays. I don't know what he was there for specifically, but at a certain point, they started talking about politics because, of course, why not, right? Every celebrity, every sort of some kind of well-known person, they got to put a microphone in front of them and say, hey, who are you going to vote for? Is it Trump or Kamala? Are you a racist? Do you support women's rights? All these kind of loaded questions they got to ask you to try and villainize you or praise you. That's what they're doing right now with Usher. Now, unfortunately, he does support Kamala, unfortunately. But hey, man, that's your right. Do what you want to do. However, some other things that he said, aside from the Kamala support, they didn't really like that too much. I think they probably wanted a different answer, okay? When they got into the weeds of, do you condemn this? And do you, it's like, wait a minute, we're getting a little bit too deep now. Hold, just pump the brakes, hold your horses. And before I go any further, let's get into the actual clip. I will place the entire 11 almost minute clip in the box. And if you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Very much about music and art. So you're supporting Kamala Harris in this election, I understand.
Yes.
Well, good for you.
Unfortunately, like I said, hey, man, but like that's your right. But I, for one, am a tad bit disappointed. Not surprised, but disappointed because it's the music industry. If you don't support Kamala, then you're cast as a Trump supporter, and that is the kiss of death in the music industry.
After the assault on the old guy last night, do you feel sorry for him or at all?
Now, I'm sorry for the repeat pauses, but it's The View. I got to do it because of copyright concerns. But the assault on the old guy, she's referring to the debate between Trump and Kamala. And I guess she thinks that Kamala won and Trump got stomped into wine. I think the exact opposite, but I digress.
You know what? I feel sorry that I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was actually performing at Barclays and felt a little irresponsible to have 14 people's undivided attention on something that they really should have been focusing on, which was the debate.
14 people or 14,000. What's going on, Usher? You doing like these really big venues or like more private things, and they got to pay like $1 million a ticket to get in? Like, what's going on?
I mean, it's been a lot of talk this morning, huh?
But you know, Taylor Swift has now endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yes.
And she was I thought, very smart the way she did it. It was like, you do your research and you decide for yourselves, but I, a single cat woman, as she points to, I am voting for Kamala. Do you think, I always say that in this...
Now, before she gets to her question, the whole thing about Taylor Swift. Now, I've read some things that endorsement was pretty big. You're talking about 5,000, 500, whatever it was. I think it was 500 to 1,000% increase in voter registration. A lot of brand new people that have never voted before are voting for the very first time. They say it's driving feet to register, but I'm not quite sure how true or false it is, but I do know that that's going to be big. The specific numbers aside, that endorsement will be pretty big. Let's keep on rocking.
Emergency that we're in, I think that the Who's artists should come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
Now, before the question is, hey, more artists need to come out and speak for, she said, Kamala. Now, are they going to call her racist 24/7 for saying her name wrong, like the way they do with conservatives anyway? She says more artists should speak up in favor of Kamala, endorsing Kamala, because Trump is an existential threat to our society, to the entire world. Okay, Usher, Mr. R&B singer, what do you think? Give us your 2 cents on that really, really, really loaded statement. And hey, if you don't answer right, you are a racist or some other kind of racial slur that we're going to call you, all while calling you the racist who has used no racial slurs. You understand how that works? But let's continue.
You know what? I don't get too deep into politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I think voting is an individual choice. And
Now let's pause right here. And I'm sorry, copyright, you know how it is. But that point needs to be highlighted. Voting is an individual choice. It's not about, oh, because you're black, you got to vote one way. You are female, you got to vote one way. You're a white male, you got to vote one way. No, no, no. Hey, what matters to you? What matters to your family? What are your particular values? You have the freedom in this country to vote based on what matters to you. Okay? It's not about outside people trying to make you do a thing. You have the freedom, you have the right. So what he's saying so far is right on point.
I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be, and find the candidate that you feel both are who fits the category of where we want to be. And that's it. And that's what you vote based off of. Who you highlight and how you choose to highlight it on whatever platform you have is your prerogative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Applause. I mean, come on. Like, he was waiting for the applause to happen, but that crowd don't like that. The crowd wanted him to say, because the crowd has been trained to hate Trump. So whenever anybody says Trump's the worst man in the world, orange man bad, whenever they say that, they clap. They like trained seals. So when he says that, they're kind of like, do I clap? I don't want to be seen as a racist. The camera might pan on me and catch me clapping, and then I'm going to get ostracized. For some basic common sense, people might say that he's doing wrong, but he's not saying anything wrong, didn't do anything wrong. He was actually very, very fair. And let's not forget, he said he supported Kamala in the beginning, but that wasn't enough. You got to go all the way into it. Not only do I support Kamala, but I also hate Trump, and I hate Trump supporters, and I hate the color red, and I hate baseball hats and everything. He has to go all the way to gain acceptance, but he's not really worried about that because he's Usher. What are you going to do? I am who I am.
Yeah, that's the way. Because really, everybody is not built to do that.
Yes.
Everybody is not built to do it, and all
It's not everybody's responsibility to do that. I mean, if I don't want to do it, then I don't want to do it. And that's okay. That's fine.
you can do is hope that the people you revere have good sense, and they're going to be doing the same thing. But what they do has nothing to do with what you do. That's right. Okay? This is yours.
Voting is an individual process.
That's right.
Yes.
There we go. Bring that point home, Usher. I like that. Voting is an individual process. Absolutely.
This is our election to win or to lose.
All right, so there we go. They're going to play music, so I can't play that. So shout out to Usher. Shout out to, and that song, of course, is one of the most famous, him and Lil Jon, yeah. Shout out to that song. I done heard that in Buffalo Wild Wings many a night. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Usher for keeping it all the way real on The View. Although I don't agree with the Kamala vote, that's fine, because I appreciate his approach to it. He's like, hey, man, look, however you want to vote, whatever works for you, your family, whatever makes the most sense, that's on you, man. And it's funny because didn't Joy Behar just say that the way Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala was by saying, do your own research and figure out what's going on? And I'm not saying anything else other than I'm voting for Kamala. That's the same thing Usher did, didn't he? So Taylor Swift says, I'm voting for Kamala. Usher, I'm voting for Kamala. She says, do your own research. He says, do your own research. What's the difference? You let me know. I can't really call it, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole View situation? Do you think Usher was right, wrong, somewhere in between for what he said and how he's going to vote? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. The View is ridiculous. What they did with Usher is just try to make maybe some headlines so they could say, oh, Usher says Trump is a threat to democracy. You know how that whole game goes. So they're trying to get cheap headlines, and anybody that comes on their show, they have to just fit into the platform. They might even try it with Taylor Swift, but maybe they won't. I think they know, and they should know Usher won't go for stuff like this to try and make them give him a clickbait headline. They might try it with her, but I don't think they will because her team behind her is a little bit too strong. But whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, this was right on. I like this. If more leftists would think like this, it wouldn't be a problem. We can get along in harmony. But you got so many of them that are hateful and spiteful and just want to see you burn. They don't have any type of real, what they say, democracy, any kind of tolerance. They don't have anything like that when it really comes down to it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.